When I run into people that have watched That's So Raven, closer to when it was airing, I definitely got You Nasty a lot.
Oh, you nasty.
And I definitely got Oh Snap.
Oh, snap!
But my favorite till this day is That's So Raven, because they're using it as the title, but they're also using it from across the street saying, That's So Raven! People don't realize that. I don't know if they know what's happening at that moment. Thanks for the pub and the shout out, right? There's so many things that I love about That's So Raven. Storylines including ones where me and my best friends would get into so many shenanigans in school, out of school, like when we had the problem with the melted cheese.
Oh, that seems kind of soft. Come to
I loved when me and Chelsea got caught on a scaffold outside of the school.
Okay. Hey, Chelsea. Chelsea. Raven, we're not getting off. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything, Chelsea.
I enjoyed where we all had to make, we were dressed up as sheep. Look for it, it's interesting.
You know what? We're not gonna let them get away with this. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no one's gonna pull the wool over our eyes.
I enjoy the storylines where you really got to see friendship prevail out of the most crazy situations. It's funny, I'm still trying to see what makes Raven Baxter relatable to other people because in my head, she's a crazy woman. Raven Baxter's crazy. Have you ever seen her?
That looks good. Hey, there's some cheese, Ray. There's cheese over there. Come on. All right, okay.
Yeah, she's spastic and she's fun to play. I think possibly people wish they could act like that in public, but they know they would get looked at like they're crazy. But I think it's because Raven Baxter has no inhibition. She's down for whatever. She's a little bit selfish, a lot of bit loving, and all about her fashion. So I think maybe that's why people relate to her. She's crazy. Raven Baxter is known for her fashion sense. So some of my favorite pieces would have to be during the Donna Cabana age.
Giants win, stock market's up, Donna Cabana comes to Donna Cabana comes to San Francisco! Opening party, yes, 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 yes!
I also really enjoyed Raven Baxter's jean suit age. She always wore a nice jean jacket and the pants to match. When I was a young child, I used to watch I Love Lucy, Carol Burnett, and Flip Wilson, and Dick Van Dyke, and Jim Carrey. So when I auditioned for the show and it got turned into That's So Raven and they started bringing in physical comedy into this show, I said, oh my goodness, all the shows that I didn't even know I was learning from, I was learning from. So these people really inspired me.
Go get your mother. Today!
There's only one thing you really need to know when you're doing the vision face. And you know what? Tyra Banks said it best. You have to smize. But it's not just happy smize. You have to like go into the vision with what's happening at that moment in your eyes and then leave with the emotion. You can't just, Dad!
Great, thanks. I've never seen a place so crowded.
I had a vision. You have to be like, oh my goodness. And then it's weird. It's like this weird changeover. And I think some people, maybe it's subtle, maybe it doesn't happen, but in my head, I'm changing emotions during it. I think That's So Raven taught kids when they're at that stage of middle school, right into high school, that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to have fun with your friends, but it's most important to be loving, empathetic, and be there for one another. And hopefully that's what That's So Raven taught kids, but also probably some really weird faces, because a lot of the people that come up to me and say they watch my show, they're like, I know you! And I'm like, I did that? That's okay. Ooh. My favorite guest stars on That's So Raven would include James Avery.
Hey, welcome to the Chill Grill, Mr. Jones. And happy birthday to you. It's an honor to meet you.
DeLaurice.
Miss Wilcox, please let me in! My feet hurt! My feet
if I let you in, will that shut you up?
We had so many people, but it was fun. And we had a good time on that set with anybody who came through, big named or not big named. A lot of different people come up and say that That's So Raven impacted their lives, whether, you know, it's my friendship with Eddie and Chelsea that reminds me of their friendship, the family dynamic, the storylines, but I also get Cheetah Girls a lot too. I get Cheetah Girls if that impacted their life with friends and starting their own girl groups of that nature, but it is, and very, very, very humbling to know that it's around the world actually, and it feels good. Actually, one woman, I was at a show speaking, and a grown woman said she learned some of her English from That's So Raven, and that made me so happy. I was like, oh yes, verbs. I know my verbs, and so do you. It was good. It's really cool. You know what's interesting? A lot of people still watch That's So Raven, and I'm so happy about it because I still watch Saved by the Bell. I still watch, you know, Home Improvement. I still watch those shows that I grew up with when I was younger for that moment of, let me just cuddle up in my blanket, get a good show on. I know that I don't have to run into anything crazy. I can laugh. It reminds me of this time in my life, and it makes me feel really special that other people do that as well for That's So Raven.